one.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name's Arden. I'm the Executive Director of Advancement here at Class Afloat. We are super excited that you've put some time aside to tune in and join myself, Jennifer East, our school advisor, and a handful of Class Afloat alumni and parents, which we have just discovered while chatting beforehand are coming from all over the world today, which is very exciting. Some cold, some hot, some rainy. And so we're going to get going. Thank you. Grab a snack. We're not going to take up too much of your time. I know it's a very important time of day for many of you, but get comfortable. We're going to answer a lot of questions you have about the Class Afloat program. And if you're tuning in and you're new to Class Afloat, we'll give you the little snapshot before jumping in. So Class Afloat has been around since 1984 as leaders in experiential education. We're a Canadian high school offering students around the world the ability to take grade 11 or 12 on board a beautiful tall ship. We are also partners of Acadia University, which means that we welcome students to take their first year of university on board our ship as well. And on top of that, we welcome gap year students who are looking to spend 6 to 9 months at sea. On top of learning how to sail the ship, our students actually visit over 20 ports of call and come together in really unique ways, which you're going to find out more about in about 30 seconds. So again, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. And I'm going to hand you guys over to Jennifer.
Thank you so much, Arden, and we're thrilled to have you here. Thank you for taking the time and joining us to learn a little bit about Class Afloat. What we're going to do during this live stream, we have this great opportunity to hear from 3 recent graduates, Mika, Maliha, and Liv, who are part of the 2024-2025 graduating class. So they've either completed a semester or a full school year at sea. Then we'll also be speaking with Kristen and Tara and Joel, who are parents of some of the graduates from this graduating year. So this is an amazing opportunity to hear sort of hot off the press the perspective and the reflections of both students and parents. After our chat, we'll be going through, Arden will take us through some of the frequently asked questions that we commonly get about Class Afloat. And for anyone who's watching, who's interested in the 2025-26 year, we do have a couple of spots, but the window is closing, so you'll need to make your decision quickly. So let's get started. So what I'm going to do is ask 3 questions first to our students. So Mika, Malia, and Liv, if you can each answer this first question. So we're really intrigued to know, you've just got home from a year or half a year at sea, and we're curious, how are you feeling? Let's start with Mika. Looking a bit like Mika's frozen. So why don't we, Malia, why don't you answer the question? You've just come back from your time at sea. How are you feeling?
Well, I've been traveling since graduation, but it's in all the places that I've been, it's been sort of a very homey and relaxed feel in all the beautiful places that we've been. And I've sort of had time to sort of, like, after graduation, it was exciting, we're going on this adventure again. But I think now that I think about it, I think the one thing that I'm feeling and that I miss the most is everyone. So like Liv and Mika and all the people with and everyone really. And I think I definitely feel the shock of losing the rhythm of our life on the ship and on land, and waking up and seeing your best friends every day, like that's pretty awesome. And so I think going back into sort of normal, slower paced life, it's been a bit of an adjustment, for sure.
I can imagine. Mika, it looks like you're back. Can we hear from you? What are you feeling after your time at sea? What are you feeling after your time at
I think I'm feeling a little bit of underwhelmment because it was a year so jam-packed with adventure and just constant like social interactions because like Malia said, everyone lives in such a close proximity. So in times of just like in downtimes, I feel very bored and underwhelmed. And it's Honestly, it's been kind of a hard adjustment. So to kind of cope with it, I've been keeping very busy, but it's a lot of exciting stuff happening at the same time, so it's hard to dwell on it too much.
Great. And Liv, what about you?
I mean, I think it kind of hasn't really hit me. Like it kind of just feels like a break, and then I'm gonna be going back. And it's been great to be home, seeing all my friends and stuff, but it's not the same as like having that super tight community and family that you've lived with for so long. It's kind of a little hard to adapt to. Like you're in such a small house, like your dinners are quiet, like simple things like that, that it just hits you that it's not like you're not there anymore and it's over. It's kind of surreal. Like it felt like it was never going to end and all of a sudden it's over and I'm like a couple weeks into summer already. It's crazy.
Well, thanks. It sounds like it was a profound experience for everyone. So actually, my favorite question is this next one. How did your time at Class Afloat change the way you see the world or challenge what you believe? So Malia, let's start with you. How did it change your perspective of how you see the world or challenge what you believe?
Yeah, I think before Class Afloat, I hadn't, had the opportunity to travel. I'm so lucky that I did this time because it sort of opened my eyes a lot to all the different places and, the people and the cultures and the food. Oh my goodness, the food. I think I'm so grateful for that because it sort of opened my eyes to how different we are, but still, how connected we can be. And I think that's really important. And I think the way for the second part of the question, the way it sort of changed my belief a little bit is when I think Mika was with me here, we were doing our homestays in the Dominican Republic in El Valle, and we were working within the community and staying with these wonderful people, which it was surreal. It was amazing. And I think it really struck me how, we live in North America in the 21st century, very, uh, of course, we can live fulfilling, but also very materialistic. And we have a lot of things, and I think a lot of our things are wants rather than needs. And when we were there, everything there was needed. Everything they had was what they needed. And I think it struck me because it kind of showed me that there were such wonderful, warm, and fulfilled people that you don't need so many things in life. You don't need so many material things to sort of experience life fully and grow as a person, which I think is really beautiful.
Thank you. That's a beautiful reflection on the experience and how it moved you. What about you, Liv?
I mean, it's really opened up my eyes to kind of how big the world is and how little where I live is. Like I live in a small town and you don't really realize the privilege that you have until you go and see the bigger world. And I think Class Afloat did a really good job with kind of showing the less privilege part of the world and showing how much you have and how much to be grateful for. Like in Africa, you could see all the kids working so hard and we're given so many things, and it really opens up your eyes to how much you have. And like Malia says, like how you can have such little things and still be like so happy. Like we lived out of a sea bag, and I mean, I didn't really notice things missing. Like there was so much at home, but it just really was like I felt like I had everything like I actually needed. But I get asked the question of what I take away from it a lot, and it's really just like don't limit yourself. There's so much to see, and like doing a program like Class Afloat, you get to see so much more than what anything around here would offer.
Fabulous. Thank you for sharing that. And Mika.
I think what comes to mind when I think of what I learned and what I pull from Class Afloat and my experience as a whole is the concept of the more you know you don't know. So I thought that the key to finding knowledge was traveling around the world, and it is, I got a lot more educated, well-rounded. I think I stepped out of my youthful ignorance in a way. But it also made me realize how though we visited so many places, we just scraped the surface of all of those countries, you know? So many people ask, "Oh, what's your favorite country or what's your least favorite country?" And I say, "Well, it's really hard to say because I only visited like certain areas of certain country. And though I've seen many countries and continents, I've only seen caught glimpses of them, you know? So it really taught me how big the world is and how insignificant maybe our problems that we tend to get consumed by from day to day are in the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of the world. So I think it really helped flip the narrative and give me a very well-rounded perspective on matters and their importance and relevance.
Thank you, everyone. Those are really powerful reflections, not just on the travel, but on the way that it impacted you. So I have one more question. You talked quite a bit in the first portion about the students and your friends. So we're curious, tell us about the community of students. What's it like to live on board with 47 other students? Malia.
Oh, that's a big question. It's like I think it was my favorite part. It's exciting and it's crazy and it's hard. And I think I learned the most about myself and about, how interesting and difficult it can be to interact with people and to connect in a way that, you can live together like you've been living together your entire lives. And when I first arrived, and I'm a second semester student, so I sort of dove in headfirst in the second semester after everyone had sort of gotten to know each other. And it's, I mean, it taught me things that maybe I wouldn't have learned if I had been there from the start. And how I'm here in Switzerland now, and I'm having to sort of do the same thing and sort of meet new people that have known each other for a year already. And being on Class Afloat has taught me that, oh, maybe that's not so scary and that's not so hard. And also living with people my own age in a such tight space for such a long time and working together, it's uh, it's amazing, and it taught me how to communicate and to be a better friend, and just yeah, I'm just so glad that I got to do that because it's truly amazing. I think everyone should have that experience.
Great. Liv, what about you?
I mean, I consider everyone I met on Class Float as family. Like we got so close so fast. I mean, we met in Natura and the next day everyone's super close and it felt like you had known them forever. Um, it really we built such a tight community and it felt like you could go to anyone for support. They saw you in your worst and in your best, and it was truly a an amazing community. You learned how to be a team in some not so easy situations. You'd be in the middle of the Atlantic in a storm and you had to work with a bunch of people. Um, that were maybe sick or whatever, and you had to push through it, and it really having the support, it felt like you always had someone to lean on, always someone there to support you no matter what you were going through. I mean, I got close with a lot of people, but there were a couple people that like I consider them family, and I feel like I could call them at any point and they'd be there to support me. And I don't think that you can really build those relationships in 9 months anywhere else. It's not the same as being kind of in a way forced to, but like in a good way. You're like stuck with them, and you build really close relationships. And I truly care about a lot of the people. And I mean, I would love to go see them again and kind of continue to build on the memories and friendships that we made because they were amazing.
Fabulous. Thank you. And Mika.
I think the biggest thing for me that I retained from living with 47 other teenagers is it really taught me to appreciate everyone for their diversity and what they brought as an individual to the community. Because in reality, you're not going to get along with everyone, but in a community like that, you're kind of obliged to, but it allows you to open up maybe your perspective to people that you hadn't anticipated or in other like situations might have not approached. So it really allowed me to make connections with people who maybe like had Class Afloat not happened, I wouldn't have met all of these people. And that boggles my mind because they're some of the best friends I've ever had. And it's crazy to me that they're scattered all across the globe now, but they're relationships that were formed over a short period of time, but the dosage of time we spent together was so like intense that it made bonds like no other, and we experienced so much together. And so I think, yeah, it really taught everyone to kind of just adapt to other people and accept everyone for their individuality and just really appreciate everyone for their originality. And I think that's what's most important to me, was learning to do that.
Really great. Thank you, the three of you, so much for sharing your perspectives. It's really heartwarming to hear, especially the relationships that you describe. We're now going to hear from some parents. So welcome, Kristen, Tara, and Joel. We have a couple of questions for you. The first one is your students have just completed probably the most challenging and also rewarding year of their lives. So since they've come home, we're curious, what is the biggest change you've seen in them? So perhaps, Kristen, you can start off. Just need you to
Yeah, sure. So the biggest change that I've seen in Devin, I would say it kind of, I keep thinking of it like there's like a whole collection of things that all happened at once, like his independence, like lots of maturity, but just a super groundedness, able to handle things that maybe would lead to frustration more quickly. I have, he's like super patient and confident and matured a lot, you know. Even to the point one day when we were in Spain, he sort of analyzed a situation that was going on, and he said, "Mom, you just got to be patient," or something. Like he was sort of, overseeing this in a new kind of very mature light. It was so sweet. I said, "You're right, Devin. Thanks." Yeah, it's just grown so much. Yeah.
Fabulous. Just what every parent would want to see. And what about you, Tara and Joel? Curious about your perspective.
Yeah, I'd agree with Kristen. Certainly maturity, confidence. I'm not sure, kind of wrapped up together. A bit of a sense of, and that goes with that maturity again. That she's just from when she left, from when she came back, and Shayna was there just one semester, but it felt like a world, like a year away for us. But no, she just came back as we could see a bit of maturity that just came from the experience. What else I see is, well, first of all, she's got the travel bug now. She's already made plans to go to Barbados. She's going to Montreal. She's going to South Carolina. She's got the whole schedule planned out to go and see her Class Afloat family. So that's something that we're really excited about, that she's made these connections all over the world. Um, the last thing I'll say is, while she was on the boat, we were on FaceTime, and she said, "Well, show me my room." And I took her up to the camera, up to the room, and I showed her around. She goes, "Oh man, that is so big." Right? She's used to seeing this tiny little bunk. And she said, "Well, show me my closet." So I went in her closet. She goes, "Oh, I'm getting rid of all of that. I don't need that." Right? And she's actually started the process of cleaning out her closet and getting rid of it, because she's learned how to live in a much more minimalist way. And it's just a really interesting transformation we've seen since she's got home.
Well, I would say all of that. I would definitely say a lot of more flexibility, definitely more maturity, and Really excited to just go and do new things where maybe a little bit more apprehension before. But talking back to the bedroom, she asked Joel and I if we could get bunk beds in her room. And I laughed because bunk beds kind of usually are in the earlier years, but she likes the concept of the compactness of the boat. So I think she was missing that for a bit. I think she's gotten over that now, but yeah, definitely a really confident, calm child. And it's good, really good. So, yeah.
Fabulous. Great to hear all of that. So, Kristen, starting with you again, what do you wish that you could tell other parents who are considering sending their students overseas with Class Afloat?
I think what I'd like other parents to know, I've been thinking about this, is that I think that things can settle into a little bit of a pattern with life and raising teenagers, and it's for the kids, it's for the kids and for the parents, a really big reset for whatever. And I'm not saying necessarily a rut, but you get into patterns for various reasons. So people like to avoid discomfort. Maybe Devin's like kind of getting addicted to me nagging him to do stuff, but he doesn't need that. I'm doing it I because it's about me. I don't want to be uncomfortable. I want to know that his stuff is taken care of and his homework is done. So do you see what I mean? We kind of get into this pattern. It's not, and then you zoom out and you go, let's just tap into the actual potential of Devin, because we know what he's capable of. And it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable for us to venture into this Class Afloat thing. And it's going to be challenging for him too, but it's pushing a big reset button for him, of course, but also as parents, to just remind him, to give him that message that we see you, we see your potential, we know what you're capable of. Go do it, kiddo. And when you give that to your kid, they just grab it and go. Like, they're going to believe you. They go with it. And that's what he did. So it was just sort of, you double down and you just go, what do you have as parents? You have the ability to create an optimal environment for the seed that your kid is to grow into whatever they're growing into. So it felt like, okay, we can control the air and the water and the soil, and let's do that. Let's change that for a bit for him. He wants to do this, and nourish him with that. And he thrived. He took it all and he grew from the experience and from the challenge. So it makes me want to cry. It was a beautiful thing.
It really is beautiful. And what I hear is parents being courageous, because I'm sure it's not easy to take that step as parents. So, Tara and Joel, what about you? What message would you like to impart to parents who are considering this experience?
You want me to take that first? Here we go.
You can go first if
Sure.
you want.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I could do much better than Kristen. That was wonderful and really captured it. Um, you are taking your kids are just absolutely stepping out of their comfort zone, and I think it's incredible the way they do it. I would say, I mean, my message is do it. It's uh, it's a wonderful experience for the kids. It's a wonderful opportunity, probably, the only opportunity you're going to get in your life to see the places and the cultures that these kids get to see. Um, I called it, as every time I saw the updates from Shayna, I just called it Shayna's tour of places Dad's never been. So the experience she had was amazing. The opportunity to meet kids like you've seen here from around the world, who are just such incredible individuals, and how they came together as one group was. We saw that at graduation. It was wonderful to see. The other thing I would say to parents is speak to other parents from prior years. Tara did that before so we signed Shayna up, because Shayna came to us. It was her idea to do this. She You know, and of course, as not knowing anything about Class Afloat, our immediate answer was bloody hell no. And then we worked from there to, you know, which included speaking to other parents, hearing about the experiences, and you know, it's you're giving your kids, and for the kids who might be on here, you're going to get that opportunity and that experience of a lifetime that you'll talk about when you're my age.
So that's probably what I would have said. I mean, when Shayna came to us, Shayna did an outdoor ed program in grade 10 and had some really cool experiences, but obviously she was coming home at night, other than the week-long trips they did throughout the year. And during that trip, that program, because it was 112 kids from across Vancouver, so she didn't know anybody going into this program. She didn't know the 111 kids. She found this sense of adventure. And during this, they were talking to siblings who had friends that went on Class Afloat. So, like Joel said, our initial reaction was like, that's not happening. And then we kind of took a step back. I started researching because it seemed a little scary. And I thought, okay, why are we saying no? And what I did is I went onto Facebook. You guys are getting the live version, but I went onto Facebook and started stalking the group from last year. And they let me into the group parent group chat. So I messaged a few of them and said, could I talk to you privately? I want to know the real goods, because there wasn't a live thing, or maybe there was, but I missed it. And through that conversation, I kept hearing it's life-changing, it's amazing. You have to let your child do it. And so consistently, nobody told me anything bad that would make us stop us from sending Shayna. So then she had to earn it. So that was the next step, but we're super glad that we sent her. And I would say 100% send your kids. It is life-changing and amazing. And we wouldn't go back. We just wish we sent her for a year instead of a semester. That's it. Yeah, do it.
Thank you so much, everyone. That's really powerful what you've all said. And I mean, I have to say that I've learned a lot of sort of insights about the experience from the student point of view and parents' perspectives that, you know, I hadn't contemplated before. So thank you for sharing. It's a real privilege for all of you to be here with us. So that's the end of our interview component. And now we hand it over to Arden, who's going to answer some of the questions that we get asked most often about Class Afloat.
Hi, thank you so much, Jen. And thank you everybody for answering those questions. I was sitting here trying to be really quiet, wanting to unmute myself. You know, I mean, Liv, it sounds like you just need to host a big dinner party to get those 47 students back at your house because you're lonely having your dinners now, which I understand. And like Kristen, you had me in tears. I have to say, just sitting back and hearing this, you know, both as someone who works with the students at Class Afloat and as a parent, there was so much, honestly, that kind of ties into answering some of our most frequently asked questions, just to go over, you know, from you guys mentioning to do the research, right? Take the time to talk to someone who's done the program. Reach out to myself, to Jennifer. We're going to be sharing our contact information as well. Don't hesitate. If you're contemplating doing a semester or year at sea with us, please reach out, ask the questions, and take a look. Take a look at the website. Take a look at our history, at our faculty, at our crew. All of this is accessible, and it's really important when you are contemplating doing this type of experience to kind of do your due diligence, right? And this is something Class Afloat can kind of boast about. We've been around doing this for so long that we really welcome you to kind of peek behind the covers a little bit and ask those questions. So please do. And the only other thing I was going to say is, like, we asked the parents if you would, you know, suggest to another parent to do this again. But like Maliha, Liv, Mika, you guys can come off your microphones and, like, would you guys want to do this again? Yes? Maybe?
Totally. I would not.
Yes?
Yeah.
Hands
I would
up.
not
Yeah.
hesitate to do it again, for sure.
Same, hands down, yeah.
Good. Okay, good, because we're working on an adult version, so we'll get you in like 5 years from now. Yeah, I see hands go up. Okay, I'm going to rein it in now.
Liv, you better pull up.
Okay, we will.
Well,
Okay, I'm going to answer a couple of questions just that I know people are waiting to hear from. We've got some people still inquiring about this year kicking off in September. I know Jen mentioned there are some spots available, and I've actually been getting texts on my phone just after that was mentioned. So I want to clear it up. We do have a lot of applications kind of sitting in progress right now. So as of today, there are still spots available. I definitely encourage you, if you are looking to start in September, please, please, please start your application like pronto. But that being said, we definitely have spots still remaining for semester 2 as well. And very exciting news, we are accepting applications for our 2026-2027 school year. So that itinerary will be shared shortly. But if you are still contemplating joining us for semester 2, or you'd like to still put in that application for September, you can hop online and check the itinerary there, and you'll be able to see what that school year is going to look like. So that's one of the questions that we get quite a bit. The other one would have to do specifically with academics. So you've heard a little bit touched upon in terms of learning, but I just wanted to make sure everyone understood that Class Afloat, yes, is an actual school registered here in Canada. So it is akin to doing a semester or full year at a Canadian independent school. So if you would like to join, you can take full credits for grade 11 or grade 12. And they are fully accredited by the Nova Scotian Ministry of Education. So I really like to clear that up. When it comes to the applicants themselves, we get students from all over the world applying to join us at Class Afloat. Typically, it's around 50% Canadian, 50% international. Sometimes it goes around 60% Canadian, but honestly, we've got crew from all over. Leading up to September, I can tell you I've seen a lot of applications coming in from people in Barbados, Australia, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, everywhere. So, please don't hesitate. And if you have any questions about that, you can reach out and we'll chat you through any questions you have around visas. Bonus, you don't have to get a study visa to join us on Class Afloat. So that's an easy one we can answer right off the bat. University credits. Okay, that's the other big question. So we are partners with Acadia, which I mentioned. Acadia is a Canadian university located in Nova Scotia as well. So if you are looking to do your first year of university, you can absolutely study on board with Class Afloat and get those credits fully accredited through Acadia University. And if you're interested, you can then go and continue your studies there as well, because it's a fabulous school and it's beautiful. The campus is gorgeous. Okay, I'm trying to go through. We've covered a lot already. Ports of call. I mentioned we go to over 20 ports of call. I won't dig deep into the details because the itinerary changes every year. We've got a few fan favorites. I mean, I'm tempted to get our students to come off and just throw out a name of your favorite port, but I'm not supposed to ask that question. But do it anyway. Liv, what's your favorite port?
I really liked Morocco. I think the camels. It was the camels.
I mean, it's magic. Okay, Maliha, what was your favorite port?
You can't ask me that. I can't answer that.
Well, not to ask that question. Yeah.
It was all good, but I think if I had to, I think Dominica.
Dominica, good answer. Okay, I don't know if Mika's still there. Mika, do we have you? Maybe not. Okay, that's okay. Those are two pretty strong answers. So if you are interested in learning more about the ports, hop on the website and get a little bit of a descriptor there. But we do so many different activities in port, and that's when your studies kind of pause and you have around 5 days at each port of call. So that is kind of the combination between life at sea and life on land. Essentially, when you are at sea, you're completing your studies, and then when you stop, when you get to land, and it's kind of like an extended weekend. Okay. Skipping forward, the application process. Oh, and sail training. These are the last two pieces that I just want to cover off before we call it a day, because I can hear people's stomachs grumbling. Sail training. You do not have to be a sailor to apply to join us here at Class Afloat. Okay, so we do have a handful of people every year who have experience sailing in one way or the other, but please don't think that you have to sail. You do have to swim or know how, but you definitely don't have to sail. And then the application process. So we alluded to the fact that there are still some spaces available. If you want to apply, you just head to the website. There's a button in the top right that says apply, and you can just hop onto the online portal and it'll walk you through. Otherwise, you can email me at admissions@classafloat.com and I will happily walk you through the entire application process, or you can jump on a call. So clearly I like to chat, so don't hesitate. And that is what we're going to do to wrap things up today, because I could go on and on and on, because we all love this program and we know the benefits of the program. And you are talking to the people, the parents and the students who are the biggest testament to what Class Afloat offers. So I really hope that you've enjoyed the time spent kind of digging deep into the experiences that everyone have had and the different perspectives. And join us for a dinner party at Liv's Place in a couple months from now. And that's it. So have a great night, everybody. And thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.